Yes, lads, welcome back to the channel, and today we are back with the big one. This coming Friday, Manchester United take on Fulham. So we are here to kickstart the new Premier League season with my Premier League predictions. Now, I'm not going to waste any more of your time because we've got a lot of things to get through today, including where every single one of the 20 teams will be finishing, who's getting the top goal scorer, who's going to be player of the season, who's getting sacked first. Everything, we're on about it today. If you guys go on to enjoy, go down below, smash that like button, and do subscribe if you are new. And of course, before I get into it, please remember, lads, it's a predictions. In case you guys don't know, I actually can't see into the future. This is my thoughts based off my predictions, based off my limited ball knowledge. If you're annoyed about anything I say, go down below in the comments and let me know. But don't whinge about it because I don't see the future. Jesus. So, kicking things off, we're going to start with the relegation battle. Slap bang at the bottom, I hate to say it, Leicester City. Now listen, they've just got Steve Cooper in, who's an experienced manager, and when Leicester do go down, he's probably the best man to get them straight back up. With the point deduction that is looming over their heads, with losing some of their better players, obviously Steve Cooper has come in, but a new manager who may or may not hit the water well. It's going to be interesting. Aging, inexperienced at the same time. I reckon Leicester are finishing slap bang at the bottom. 19th place. I'm going to say Nottingham Forest. Now, I know I've got a couple of Forest fans who watch this channel, and I'm sorry, you're going to hate me and you're going to think I'm waffling out my arse. But I'm going to be honest, I don't rate you. If it's not this season, they're gone next year. In 18th place, rounding out the bottom three, I'm sorry, and this one pains me, Kieran McKenna's Ipswich. Oh, I love McKenna. I think he's done a fantastic job now. Even if he does get relegated, going from the League One to the Premier League with the same team and more or less the same players is genuinely outrageous and absolutely fantastic to see. That being said, I reckon it's going to be very much similar to Luton last year. They're going to be that smaller team coming up, just rivaling off the fact like, right, we're here with giants. We probably don't belong here in the grand scheme of things, but we are here and we've earned our place here. We're going to fight. We're going to turn our home stadium into a fortress, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to pick up a shock draw, maybe a win against some of the big boys here or there, but they're just going to fall short because eventually their quality will shine through. Coming into 17th place, just escaping the bottom three, is going to be Everton. I want to make this clear. I actually really think Everton are a very, very good team, and under Sean Dyche, I reckon they actually could go like 14th to 10th type of position, but I don't know what it is. Something about Everton, they just always seem to crumble unless they're facing like a Liverpool, then they just seem to win. Now, position 17th to about 12th. These positions are impossible to guess because like one result could literally change everything, take you from 17th to 12th. That being said, I'm going to go for newly promoted Southampton. Got enough experienced Premier League players in their team as well as some exciting younger players in there to do a decent job. St Mary's Stadium will be bouncing, and I reckon they're going to put a couple big results in this season. Now in 16th place, I'm actually going to put Wolves, and it's a shame because they've got a very good manager in O'Neill. They've got a very, very good team, but something about them just feels like boring. They'll probably be one of those teams that play really well, maybe put a team like 2-2, 3-3, but they just don't put that final knife in and they don't get that final win and they struggle to get those victories, and I reckon they're going to struggle this season, and if it's not for other teams doing even worse, they probably are in a relegation scrap. That being said, Wolves, you're up next. Now, coming in 15th position, I'm actually going to put Bournemouth. They've got a fantastic manager, and last year they surprised a lot of teams, and they actually finished in a very, very respectable position. Losing Dominic Solanke, obviously at the time of recording, they have not signed a replacement for him. If they can get a big vocal point striker, they might be all right because they've got some wicked wingers, a solid midfield, and a decent back line as well as a top keeper in goal. And the manager came in last year and smashed it. So if they can get that replacement vocal point, they might be okay, and I still think they will be okay. I reckon they'll have moments throughout the season where they get some big results, probably against United, and then they have moments where they don't get a win for like a month, do you know what I mean? But sitting in 15th place, you're taking it as Bournemouth, do you know what I mean? I am actually going to put Brentford. As things stand, it looks quite likely that they may be keeping Ivan Toney, which would be massive for Brentford. Got a nice team, they've got a nice manager, and I don't think there's anything exciting or really scary about this Brentford side, and I reckon they'll do all right. Bob Standard, 14th place. Thank you very much. See you next year. We're going to go to the capital for Fulham. I actually reckon Fulham has had a very, very good transfer window, and obviously there's still reports of them going for players like Scott McTominay and others, so they actually might be even pushed a little bit higher if they can get a couple extra names in. But the signing of Smith Rowe, I think, is a fantastic bit of business. It's a nice little season for Fulham. We're going to go down to the south coast for the Seagulls, Brighton. They've got their new man in, 31 years of age, which is genuinely wild, by the way. They've got some big names that are rumoured to be coming in. They've got some very nice young players as well. But I reckon when you think about how the table is at the moment in terms of how good the best ones are and probably how low quality, let's say, the bottom ones are, I reckon Brighton, with the team and the manager they've got right now and in the position they are, it could go one or two ways. De Zerbi was such a good manager where all this guy has to do is come in, steady the ship, and they'll be fine. Next up, we're going to go for high-flying Crystal Palace. Absolutely fantastic squad and a fantastic manager. Mixed in there with a fantastic home stadium where the crowd get behind them. It is pretty much one of the most perfect teams in the Premier League, and they are looking on the up trajectory and a half. Oh, this is where it gets spicy. Look at the table now. You've got so many fantastic teams that can easily do a job this year. Oh my God. However, next up, West Ham United. And with the new manager coming in as well, I reckon they could be on for a decent season, potentially pushing for those Conference League positions. Of course, they did go on and win the Conference League a couple of years ago, so maybe a potential route to repeating that in the future. First couple of weeks, they're probably going to struggle a little bit, maybe steal a couple 1-0s, maybe just get beaten a lot, but they got the likes of Aston Villa and all that in the first couple, so it could be interesting why all these new players gelling into the new manager's style, etc. But I reckon they're on for a very, very good season, and a season they can be very, very happy with. Okay, the top 8. Straight up in there, I have no idea, but I do know it's starting with Newcastle. Now, this is no dig at Eddie Howe or any of their players. 8th place in this league genuinely is mental when you think about the money spent from that top echelons of teams. When you think about the quality in the teams, 8th place in the Prem is not to be shrugged at. You'd think maybe the potential, well, the no potential, the fact they have no European football this year, they only have to focus on the cups and they have to focus on the league, is a good thing for them, and it is, but I still don't think that depth is there. They've got some options here and there, but I reckon when you lose some of Newcastle's big players, there's no one behind it to come in and replace. And I reckon that's why they struggled so much last year. Similar to Man United. I reckon they're going to struggle. I reckon they're getting 8th. And I don't reckon that's a bad year for them. Next up, we are going for Chelsea. They spend so much money. If their team actually gels how it should and plays how it should, they will be winning trebles for the next 10 years. And I mean 10 years because all their players are there for the next 10 years. Nobody has any idea how to use them all. If Chelsea can gel, they will go on and win the league. But they're not going to. And they've got too many players to keep everyone happy. They're going to fall apart. They're going to collapse with European football in the mix as well. Oh, it's going to be a long year to be a Chelsea fan. Now, I'm going to be real with you. Whilst recording this video, I've got confused with the numbers and I might have put one in a dodgy place or something like that. So I have no idea what number I'm on. But I believe I'm on 6th. So in 6th place, we're putting Liverpool. Now, this is not just, oh, United fan giving us stick. Oh, what you want about United or shit and all that stuff. Listen, I know we are, but I reckon you're going to be worse. The thing is, you've got some top players in there. You've got the Salahs, you've obviously got the Virgils, you've got the Trents, you've got some very, very good players. At the time of recording, you have not signed a single player. I don't reckon it will be like that. You'll probably sign 2 or 3 by the end of the window. Don't worry, relax. You're going through a bit of United at the moment where you leave your business till right at the end. I reckon Arne Slot may go on to be a very, very good manager for Liverpool. But he has got that really unfortunate problem of being the guy after Jurgen Klopp. And it's such an impossible task because any single time you lose a game, Klopp's not there. Any single time you're playing a bit defensive or playing not that swashbuckling attacking football, Klopp's not there. And I reckon it's going to be a massive culture shock for Scouse fans this year, knowing that Klopp isn't there. So coming in at 6th place for Liverpool, I'd actually say is a good season. Staying there and thereabouts when you're in your transitional period, I reckon you're getting 6th. 5th place, we're going to go with Manchester United. A United fan who's not going to say we're going to win the league? No! Listen, I reckon we're going to have a very, very good season. I reckon we're going to go far in the Europa League, maybe go far in one of the domestic cups as well, either the Carabao Championship of the World or the trophy we currently hold, the FA Cup. However, the league is so competitive right now, and I reckon if you go player for player, when you think about the depth in certain positions as well, all the teams left, Villa, Spurs, bloody City, Chelsea, they have all got better squads on paper for over around all competitions than Manchester United. Already seen it at the start of the season. Luke Shaw's missing the first couple. Malacia, we don't even know if he's alive half the time. You got Yoro, who's already come in and got injured. Leacher will probably get injured at some point this season. Rashford, maybe he might hit some form, but the other times his head will be completely gone and he'll probably go in a couple games where he just doesn't score. You've got the likes of Rasmus, who's still a young striker. Zirkzee, who's unproven in this league. You've got two very, very, very talented wingers in Ahmad and of course Garnacho, but they are still so young. We have got on paper a fantastic team, but they're growing. They're still young. They're still trying to nurture themselves into their peak physical form, let's say. And I reckon 5th place and a trophy, I reckon we'll be all right. But the question is, if we go 5th place and we get a trophy, is that enough to keep Eric in charge? I guess we'll find out. That being said, with the rumours of De Ligt and Maswawi coming in, if it is confirmed, which I'm praying and hoping it will be, I do reckon De Ligt will single-handedly push us into 4th place. However, he's not here yet. So in 4th place, we're going to say Aston Villa. Now, this can go one of two ways. They've just got back into Champions League football. They're going to have a lot more fixtures, a lot more pressure, and a lot more expectation on this season. That being said, one of the best managers in the world, arguably the best goalkeeper in the world right now. Fantastic midfield, fantastic attacker, very, very good back line with more options coming in as well, the likes of Maatsen. Aston Villa are a fantastic side, and we can't keep looking at them as underdogs because they are there now. They're a top 14 guaranteed type of side. They are brilliant, and I reckon they're going to get 4th place again. Unless we get De Ligt, then we're going 4th. Now, there is 3 teams left, and one of them you are probably very, very shocked I've not said yet. Oh, this is going to get clipped. This is going to get clipped. Ah! Right, lads. Lads. 3rd place, Manchester City. Oh. Next month, they are going to court for 115 charges. The deal will be done by the start of the year, which means if there is a point deduction, which there will be, guaranteed, because if not, they're getting relegated. And listen, deep down, I really think they're going to get relegated. But I reckon they'll somehow get away with it because they got mental lawyers. And because the lawyers aren't football related, they can literally spend billions and billions and billions on these lawyers. They'll get away with it somehow where they're not instantly relegated. I reckon they'll end up getting a point deduction, which means even if it's... Imagine if they got 1 point for every charge. That's 115. They got to get relegated, surely. I'm going to calm my expectations. I'm going to relax. I'm not going to say they're going to get relegated. However, I do reckon they will at least get a point deduction, which means I do reckon they'll sit into 3rd place by the end of the season. And it makes sense what I'm saying, but you guys are just going to see the headline. They're in 3rd, and you're like, what's he on about? He knows nothing. But it makes sense, and you know it, because you're going to get at least a point deduction. You are, and you're going to drop. You're going to get at least a deduction. I'm trying to convince myself that I'm right here. So, the top 2. It doesn't take a genius to work out who's left. Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspurs. The 2 biggest bottle jobs in the Premier League. Do you know what? City probably will get a deduction and they'll still win it because Spurs and Arsenal will just bottle it anyway. Who's the least bottle job? Do you know what? Fuck it. Arsenal 2nd, Spurs are going to win the league. All jokes aside, you know what? I reckon Tottenham are going to have a very good season. If it wasn't for the point deduction, I would have said Spurs 3rd, City 2nd and Arsenal 1st. With the point deduction, City are dropping to 3rd. And then I just like Spurs more than Arsenal. Do you know what? I'm backing it. That's my big shout. Tottenham Hotspur are finishing top 2. And I'm going to put Spurs to win the league. The Spurs are going to fucking do it. They're going to win the league. This video's a joke. I can't use it. I'm a meme. I'm a meme. There you have it. Your Premier League champions of the 24-25 season. Tottenham Hotspur. Right, swiftly moving on before you all unsubscribe. Top goal scorer, Erling Haaland. I don't reckon City will win the league. That being said, Haaland scores goals. It's what he does. He might not play well. He might touch a ball once a game, but he'll score a goal a game as well. Erling Haaland will be the Golden Boot winner. In terms of the first manager to be sacked, I'm actually going to go Chelsea's Enzo Maresca. I don't reckon it's going to be by his fault. I reckon his owners are just too trigger happy. I reckon they got all this money spent, and I don't reckon they're going to win their first couple games, let's say. I reckon they're going to struggle, probably be in the bottom half of the table by Christmas, and he'll be gone. Enzo Maresca. Golden Glove winner, I am going to say it'll probably be David Raya for Arsenal. All jokes aside, Arsenal will probably go and win the league, but, you know, for the vibes, I said Spurs. David Raya, Golden Glove. Big shout of the season. I've got two. Obviously, Man City are going to get relegated this year. My big shout for the season is that Manchester City will win 0 out of 4 trophies this year. No Carabao, no FA, no Premier League, and no Champions League. Manchester City are going to go competitively trophyless. There are my Premier League predictions for the new season. Let me know what you think about them. Listen, before you laugh at me for my predictions, think about what I'm saying. It makes sense. I can't wait for football to be back. Roll on Friday. In a bit, lads. Peace.